to trend lower. So it's a pretty big call. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Doesn't mean everything's going to get all rosy and whatever. But with the oil going up and all kinds of other things going on globally at the rate that they're accelerating as well, if the brakes don't get put on and things don't start to go back to common sense, we're spiraling towards this is where the market's going to go. So there's reasons why the U.S. markets may hold up a little bit better than the European markets, but I think the DAX is definitely set to get really, really crushed over the next probably, I mean, the fact is the supply chain too. You're not even getting stuff sold here in the United States. So if you can't even deliver German parts to the United States, that's a problem, for the EU, as far as even whether you're going to be getting them, how you're going to get them here. So these are all issues that you got to think about. So as far as any other questions, let's see, we have these questions on Twitch. This is really cool. Really like that you guys are doing this. Make sure you like our thing on Twitch and YouTube, and make sure you share the video with people. Leave some comments in the sections as well. If you haven't followed our stuff, make sure you do. Let's see, we have answered the question about the DAX 30, or actually no, DAX 40. And we did the Euro AUD analysis, got all your questions. Let me see on YouTube. Let me just put this out. Any questions? All right. And then now on Twitch. Any questions? So crypto, different currency crosses, any other market questions? Because if not, then we have something we can take a look at. So we go back to our hourly sell signal here with the ETH USD. So this one here is probably one of our most interesting trades of the afternoon to follow, because right now there's a Bears game that I haven't even checked to see whether or not they are winning or losing, because I have to see what's going to happen for the second half and have some lunch and watch my home team get demolished. But what can you do? Hopefully they don't. They're playing Detroit Lions, but you never know. So, in fact, just to give you guys an update. Oh, yeah, what's going on? The Bears are winning 7-0 against Detroit at home with 2 minutes and 57 seconds left in the first quarter. Okay, that's great. All right, so we're right on track here. So we don't have any more questions. So for those of you that want to know what to watch for this afternoon before the markets open, remember, let's go through one quick lap around the world with all the trades to pay attention to for the week ahead. So real quick, real brief, just a reminder, look for 30-year and Treasury bond prices to continue higher, making rates a little bit lower, giving pressure to the dollar. If the 30-year and 10-year turn around and end up coming lower, especially if they make lower move lows on the week or on whatever, the dollar is going to gain strength. So be very careful. The dollar bulls will come out in fierce, 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 fierce ways. Crude oil. This is most likely going to be buffering higher move highs, especially if it gets above 80. Expect things to get very, very volatile in the market. Gold, we're still looking for a follow through to the upside. This is another thing that is limiting the dollar mobility to the upside. So we're going to go back to here, and we go to Dixie. Remember, dollar index. 3 inside down sell signal, short-term correction, looking for a counter trend trade. Remember, the dollar index is a longer-term bull. All kinds of reasons to buy this market, but every reason to see a little profit taking and look for a dip. Probably not as extreme as this extended target is here. The euro US dollar, remember, biggest component of the euro of the dollar index. We're just saying, hey, it's a low risk buy here because the dollar index is looking for a pause for the cause. Does that mean we're looking for this to get this high? Remember, we said there's all kinds of reasons that would probably limit it going here, just like the dollar index not getting to where the extended target is. Downward sloping resistance line here, 17 even to $1.17 half extreme. British pound, US dollar, however, this is where we're looking for a little bounce of strength, especially with the oil markets being positive and looking for a run at $80 or higher. Should we get something like that compounded by a rally in the 10-year and 30-year Treasury note futures, this will help to get us right up to this $1.3832 area. I believe you're going to have a lot of trouble here, but just because we get above here, it doesn't make the pound US dollar a major bull, but it's very likely that the pound US dollar is going to have a big sideways action for the next couple of years, where The dollar right now in the short run can have an edge on it, but I think the pound will have a good reason to get its bounces. And the pound is going to be very strong versus many currencies globally, except for the dollar for the next couple of years also. It's a big thing to keep into consideration, excuse me, my mouth is getting dry now. Time to end this video pretty soon. US dollar Swiss coming off a short-term swing high. Remember, this is another one we're looking for, maybe a short-term correction. We are not overly bearish at all, that's for sure. Okay, US dollar JPY, this is another one we're looking for this correction to continue. Extreme, this would be this area down here, this 109.21 to 109.75. Odds are it's not going to get all the way down there. Probably 110.5 down to 110 even. I would use caution. It's probably going to get dicey and slow and take a lot of grind like this little area here. It could bounce around for a month in a $1 range, just going chop, 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 just like it did all in here. Okay, so be very mindful of that. And also just remember that the sell signal, it is activated, and the high right now from 2 sessions ago is your risk level. Anything above here, the bulls are out in full fashion. US dollar strength prevails. You're on the wrong side if you're short. Short-term piercing line buy signal here for the Australian dollar, US dollar, looking for another little lift. We'll see how this goes. Remember, we're not overly bullish. We think the fundamental and other economic factors are going to keep the Australian dollar suppressed versus most currencies, especially the US dollar. But right now, with the current lift in gold prices and oil prices, that's helping the Australian dollar, even though they can't get anything off of the continent, believe it or not. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Okay, we have this one is pretty much doing the same thing as the Aussie. They don't have quite the issues that they do in Australia. However, they're not too far away. They're just not as China weighted. We're looking for this bounce here to be confirmed, or to follow through rather. This is a 3 inside up just pattern, just like we had in a couple other signals or markets where it was signaled, the same kind of signal from the high probable Japanese candlestick pattern book, by the way. But yes, we are looking for a rally, a little follow through over the next couple sessions to a week. Not any major upside action. US dollar Canada, that was the big one that we were talking about, looking for this to buffer support. If it takes these levels out, look out below, brother. It is going to tank most likely with the strong price in oil and the pulling back in interest rates, etc. Along the bullish gold market. These are all things to become strong for Canadian dollar versus not just the US dollar versus many crosses, period. So the dollar versus the Canadian dollar is likely to take out this downward sloping resistance line that it's settled on, take out this neckline from the head and shoulders, which will have it leaning on this $24.87. A failure from there confirms lower move lows after lower move highs, and an intent for a new bearish trend to come back and test these major lows here around $21.16. So a lot of potential to the downside here. Very low risk sell side position here for US dollar Canada. If you're trying to buy into this, I would say anywhere from below $24.87, you're just gonna get hammered. So just be very careful when it comes to that. All right. So for all of you that have been paying attention, we're going to show you one last thing before we end our stream. So we add this ETH/USD. We have this hourly sell signal. So we'll see how this works for the rest of the session. We are going to, or the rest of the trading day before the currencies come online, we will continue our live. We're going to cancel our live stream for a couple minutes, and then we will rebroadcast with this hourly sell signal in place, and we will see how things go until we have to come back with another webinar for later on. So I want to thank all of you for participating in the webinar today on the chat room. That was fantastic of you guys to have questions and ask about different markets. You know, we can ask about any market you want. We'll take a look at it if we can. So, and if you have not done so, remember to check out our book, High Probable Japanese Candlestick Patterns, available on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle versions. And don't forget to make sure to subscribe to Forex Trading Unlocked on YouTube and Twitch. We will have our cryptocurrency, Ether, US dollar, sell signal hourly trade up for you.
through day after a crazy move yesterday, namely on SPI. But that led to sympathy momentum on a couple of other stocks. POLA, which is popping up again right now, and SunW, which is pulling back right now. So pre-market, we're already seeing really big moves, and it's feeling like if I keep waiting too much longer, I'm going to be missing the moves. So I want to be trying to capitalize a little bit on some of this momentum pre-market. Of course, leave a little room for the bell to ring and make a little more then. But right now it feels like a good time to be getting up a little earlier and sitting down and seeing if I can capitalize on the opportunities that are right in front of us. So we're going to start kind of breaking down my watch list here, even though it's about 8:25, 8:30. It's today's the day to do it a little on the earlier side. All right, so SunW and Pola. Pola right now is actually getting POLA a little bit more action as it pops up here to a high of 460. This one had a pre-market high of 569. So at this point, I'd probably want to wait for a little bit of a 5-minute setup and see whether or not we get like a 5-minute bull flag above the volume weight average price. It's got 6.5 million shares of volume. There's no standalone news on it. This is sympathy to yesterday's big move on SPI, which went from $1.05 up to $46.67. I talked about pre-market in this area. This was the breakout that happened during my recap yesterday. It pulled back, and then out of that consolidation, it broke out again, and it kept going. It was insane. And I came back and traded it. I traded it through this area, this area, and this area. I was up $52,000 on it. And we got a couple of halts, but so the last halt was right up here at 1355, so 155. And it dipped down for a second, and it squeezed up to 46 or 44. It dipped down again. I bought the dip, and then all of a sudden, it flushed about $10 a share, and I was in a halt going down. Now, usually a halt going down like this is immediately following a halt, and this was not immediately following a halt. Typically, what you see is immediately following the halt, you get the flush. But what happened on this is that immediately following the halt, it dipped down, it ripped up, it then started to pull back again, and I was like, okay, this is just another dip. And I got long, and all of a sudden, it resumed way down here, and I stopped out at 20 bucks. So I walked away yesterday, unfortunately, with only $12,000 of profit on SPI. I gave back like 30 grand or 40 grand on this drop. It sucked. It really sucked. And I was definitely questioning whether it was the right decision to come back and trade it, because the net result was that at the end of the day, I had less money than if I had just stopped at 1030. But this for me, I'm usually pretty good at avoiding getting caught in these kind of halts down, and this happened in a very kind of funny way. And if I hadn't come back, I wouldn't have taken that loss, but I also wouldn't have had the opportunity to trade through this action and experience something that was pretty amazing. So I gave back a little bit of profit. I guess that's the cost of gaining that new experience trading something as parabolic as this. And at the end of the day, I'm not really that bent out of shape over it. Still finished the day green. So, life is good. 50,000 would have been a lot better, but it's the way it goes. So that was SPI yesterday, but it has led to some follow through on stocks yesterday. So that was SPI. SunW during the same period went from $1 to $4, and then back down to $1 pre-market. Back up here to $8, dropped down, right now consolidating in this area. I have already traded this one a couple of times. I'm up $2,943 on it pre-market. I am kind of thinking at this point, it's around the volume weight average price. If it can break over this level, then we're starting to look at a move back up to 650, maybe 7. Don't underestimate these stocks. They can be, as we saw yesterday, incredibly strong. But right now, this one is, I don't think, quite ready. I don't particularly want to do a dip off the volume weight average price right here. A dip trade would be certainly a possibility, but I just don't really want to do it yet. So I'm going to leave Sun W alone for the time being. Pola is continuing to grind a little bit higher. You've got nice volume on the 5-minute chart, high volume on the green candles, but it, I think, needs to form a bull flag, before it really is ready for the next move higher. Continuation days, which is what today is, can be tricky because we don't know, a lot of these don't really have a fresh catalyst other than sympathy to the move on SPI. Now, SPI is gapping up. It closed yesterday around like 15 and is up at 21 right now. So, it does look like it's a gapper. Is SPI going to make another big move today? It's hard to say. But one of the challenges with it, no doubt, will be price related. So $21 stock with a 20-cent, 30-cent spread, that's going to start to get a little tricky. You buy on the ask here and you're instantly down 20, 30 cents. So, it may end up giving some opportunities, but the spread is going to be a factor for sure. It was a problem yesterday and is going to continue to be a problem today. And it is, one of the reasons why it was kind of hard to trade, even through that big breakout, because you knew every time you were getting in it, you were potentially risking $2 a share when it was up in the 20s. OEG, lower price, 27 million share float. Okay, so this one, I usually am not a super big fan of these cheap ones. It may be worth watching to see where this one goes. Here's the thing. It's an energy stock as well, so that's the catalyst. That's the sympathy catalyst. There aren't halts pre-market for circuit breakers. So for that reason, you can see some really big parabolic moves. But one of the setups with trading stocks at $1 is trading the whole dollar break and the squeeze into a halt, and then capitalizing on the gap higher, right? Stocks that halt going up usually gap higher. So because of that pattern, which we know is true, it's really kind of a regular trading hours setup, because trading that pre-market, there's no circuit breaker halts. Having said that, it has just gone up to $1.27 while I speak. So I don't know. I mean, it's chasing it to buy it up here. You could have taken a trade potentially right there at 13. So the current high is 27.30, 40. So this is going to be one of those ones where if you jump in, you hold on tight and you pull that ripcord as soon as you're seeing weakness, because you're getting in something really extended. It's high risk. It's up 166%. So I'm watching it here and wondering, I want to be careful not to give in to FOMO, but instead to capitalize on it and to ride the momentum that's in the market. So let's watch it over 40. Is it going to break $1.40, $1.50? I'm going to put an order at $1.52. So it's ready to go. And I'll take a long right there. So I'm long for the break of $1.50. I'm going to put an order at $1.75 because, to be honest, with this energy catalyst, I think we might see a move up to $2. So putting an order here to add, I'm adding right there, and I'm going to add again at $1.80 for the break of 2. This, like I said, don't underestimate how strong things can be in this market. So we've got a high right here of 89. 89 is the spot to watch. This is now the second leading gapper, but will very quickly be the leading gapper if it breaks over 2. Watching in the 80s for the next add. Adding right there at 78 to buy this dip. So I want to buy the dip and then catch the break over 88 and then squeeze through $2. So watching 85. Next ad is at 85. Watching 81. I want to see 2, 3. Adding at 84 right there for the break of 85. Target is a pop up over $2. It should have broken right there. My average is $1.54, even though I've been adding. So all of a sudden, just like that, coming back down. Let's see. I'll give it a chance to do a 1 minute pullback, and then I can add on the next move higher. So I'm going to leave my order at $1.85. Holding through this pullback, 3,800 shares. Yeah, this is crazy. High is $1.89. I'm going to put my order at $1.90. So this is an example where I think you could say, all right, your entry was a little bit of a chase at $1.40 and $1.50, but I held on to that ripcord and I took some profit up in the 70s when it failed to break 80, and now I'm holding a smaller position and looking to add back if it can prove itself. So that's just got to be the game plan today. Buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride. This is up 235%. First 1 minute candle to make a new high, 87.89. Watching. So even if I wasn't in right now, I'd be looking for a new trade on this, or my first trade on it, because this is a 1 minute pullback. Starter at 70. Taking a long at 70 there. Looking for the break over 73 to add 74. Watch 74. And then first 1 minute candle to make a new high is going to be right there. See how we're on the 10-second chart curling up? Watching to add over 74. And then I want to get the retest. There's 72 on the ask. I want to get the retest of the pre-market high. So it's chopping out a little bit. I'm going to get out, and then I can always get back in. I took a small loss selling at 65 for my entry there in the 70s. Dip trades, because this won't halt going down, it could flush, and then on a flush, there could be a dip opportunity. So while that one is consolidating, what's the news on NETE? This is still on watch. Construction of electric vehicles. I don't see the news catalyst. Let's see. Okay, here it is. High was 950. So this could be a good one as well. It's lighter volume, which creates a little bit more risk. So let's see if it breaks 950. I'll put an order at $10. I've got a starter at 940, and I'm adding right there for the break of 10. Over 1040 would be my next add. Only have 5,000 shares. I'm not trading crazy big size on this. High is 1018. Watch 1018. Added at 1018. Looking for the break now and the squeeze up to 1050. So since we actually have a catalyst on this, I feel a little bit better on this one versus some of the others. Watch over 1045 for the next add. Buying right there. Now looking for a squeeze up over 11. Again, based on the action we saw yesterday, I don't want to underestimate that this could go to 1150, 12 or higher. This is the type of price action we're seeing right now in this market where things are going crazy. So 1175 is going to be my next add. I haven't taken any profit. I'm going to look to add over 75 for the break of 11. Watching here, there's 59. Adding there, 77. Looking for the squeeze up to $11. We've got a high of 10, a high just under 11. My cost basis is now $10 even. Can we break 11? That's the question. Again, lighter volume stocks, you have to manage the risk with smaller share size. So the high right here is 1097. I'm going to put an order at 11. I'm going to let it pull back here, and I'm going to try to do a dip trade. OEG is still on watch. First 1 minute candle to make a new high on NETE. It's a 4 million share float. 400,000 shares of volume now. I haven't added back yet. Watching. Taking a little more profit off the table. I'm going to wait for the next opportunity to add. High of this candle, 1130. Nice job for those that took that dip trade. I almost punched it in the 20s, and then I was like, oh, I don't know. It did just make a big move. Don't underestimate, on the one hand, how much they can go up, but also how much they can come back down. High is 1129. I'll put an order at 1131. Still holding small size at a $10 cost basis. OEG broke $1.50. Back to the volume weight average price. It could be a dip trade at $1.39, but that might be a little risky. Sun W back to 5, so that one's broken below the VWAP. NETE. I think this might be a one to keep a close eye on with this news catalyst here. So what's the next trade? The high is 1150. There's 56. Are we going to get a squeeze up to 12? I'm going to watch a dip through this area with an order at 60, 1160. Adding at 1113 right there, buying the dip. Now looking for a squeeze up over 1150. Watch the break of 45. Adding at 46 right there, looking for that quick squeeze through 1150. And then up towards 12. Over 1150 could be an add. This is a flat top on the 10-second chart. Right here, I would buy dips off of 11 to try to catch the break back over 1150 and through 12. Watching through this area. Wanting to see it pop back up through 1125. A little bit of a bigger dip there. I might buy this dip. It's a dip off the volume weighted average price. We've got 1068, there's 1080. $42 on the bid, 58 on the ask, so a bigger spread. Never like to hit the bid when we've got a bigger spread. As long as this stays above the volume weighted average price, there's a potential dip trade in this area. Back over 11 is what I need to see. There's 97. 73 by 94. So that's a trade where I had the opportunity to take profit at 1130, 1140, but I was looking for the break of the $0.50. I was trying to be aggressive. I'm going to cut the loss on that, probably a $3,000-$4,000 loss, but still green on the name. Dropped from my average of 1116 and stopped out probably 1050 average. So green trades on OEG, green trades on NETE net, even though that last trade was a loser, up $11,326 on the day, and it's only 8:45. I do want to keep an eye though on NETE because of the catalyst. So SPI, again, I see it here. I'm just not sure. I don't know where to trade it. I'm just not sure yet. Let's see. There we go. High on NET is 1156. Good morning, everyone. Those of you guys just getting tuned in, I started the stream a little earlier today. We've had a flurry of momentum, continuation from yesterday's bigger moves on SPI and SunW. SunW, I would say the breakout spot is going to be around this $5.85, $6 level. So I'll put an order at $6 so it's ready to go. I'm just looking at my trades from yesterday here. Let's see. NETE. So the high is 56, certainly over 56. I would watch for a move up through 12. This has almost the same catalyst as SPI did yesterday. I'm going to put an order at 12 on this. The high of that candle is 68, so I want to let it pull back, and then I'm going to actually watch over 68. If it can break 68, long at 66 there, looking for the squeeze up to 12. Yep. Now I'm going to put a new order at 12.25. See how you're getting that big buyer there at 12? I'm adding at 12.10. Looking for the squeeze now up to 12.25, 12.50, and over 12.50 I would look for a rip to 13. This is the market we're in. Watch up here 12.50, adding at 12.55 right there. Now looking for a squeeze up to 13. I'm going to add over 12.75 again, adding at 12.73 right there. Wanting to catch that squeeze up through 13. A break of 13 would be obviously nice, and then next target 13.50, 14. Micro pullback and then long. Watch through here for the micro pullback. Long right there at 77, micro pullback for the break over $13. NETE, man, this is on fire. This is some seriously hot momentum. Unbelievable. It's up 100%, but you know what? It's the same catalyst that we had yesterday. High, 13.20. My average is 12.27. Can I get $1 a share? I'll need 13.27 to get a full $1 a share. So now I'm going to let it pull back here on this first pullback. High is 13.20. Watching down here. Orders at 13. 13.20 is fine. This is it's up 95%. It's not going to be our leading gapper until it moves a little higher, but this one so far has been pretty awesome. Let it dip and then look for the entry on the pullback. Watching in this area. I should have pulled the trigger. I almost pulled the trigger there at 60. I hesitated. That hesitation, man. So if I pulled the trigger at 1260, I would have taken profit right there at 13, 1290. Nice, Jess. Jess got the dip. Good work, man. So now I'll put an order at 1310, but I'd have to go with smaller size on an entry up there. This is a 1 minute micro pullback. Let's see what it does. Let's see if it holds. Let's see what level it holds. It's flashing around a little bit. I'm long. I'm just going to take a quick trade on this through 1320. I'm in at 89. 89 is my average. And so my average, because I'd added, was still holding a position. My average moved up though. So I'm going to let it pull back here. 13.15 is the next add spot. Looking for the breakthrough this level. I'm going to cut the trade at 78, 10-cent loss. It's all right. 1 minute micro pullbacks haven't been working super well on this one. So how many of you guys remember back in 2017 when cryptocurrency, blockchain, Bitcoin was hitting like 20,000? Stocks, small cap stocks, left and right were opening cryptocurrency, blockchain divisions, subsidiary, blockchain subsidiary, blockchain this, crypto this. And right now we're seeing that same action in electric vehicles. So the high rate here is 1320. I'm long at 17, and my target is 1350. We were seeing left and right stocks going crazy. Watching over 35 for the adding there at 31, looking for the break through the $0.50. There's 49. Is it going to break 50? There's a bid there at 48. All right, so let's see what it does. Orders at 1350. And, you know, we even saw it a bit with COVID. Companies left and right coming out with this, and well, mostly biotech companies, which makes sense, but All right, so this dip here, I'm long, buying that dip. Now looking for 14. Now at a certain point, when this starts skipping 50-cent blocks, I'm just going to be holding a core position and I'm not going to be taking profit as quickly. I'm adding right there for the break over 14. Watch here. Adding there. Now 14.50 is the target. New order 14.50. High on this is 14.42. I'm taking profit off the table. 14.20. I'll hold a smaller position and look for the next entry for a pullback. Ten-second chart showing us this little pullback here. We know our high a day is 42. Naturally, the order will go at 14.50 for the half dollar. I missed that entry. I'm going to move my next order to 15. I'm going to let it pull back. Can I hold this level? Long at 93. Now looking at 15.50. If we can hold 15, adding at 25, looking for the break of 15.50. Got partial fills on those ads. That's weird. There's 15.50. Taking profit off the table. I'll look for the next pullback. Yeah, I got 3 orders, partial fills on all 3. Wait for a pullback. The pullback is going to be just as dramatic as the move up. Long at 44, buying that 60-cent pullback. Now over 16 is an add. New orders at 16.70. High is 16.91. I'm still holding from 15.44. New orders 17.50. High right there is 17.21. Watching up in this area for an add over 17.20. Buying the dip, long at 61. Looking for the breakthrough 17, then 17.50. We're going to get to a point where we're looking at 20 bucks. I mean, this gets crazy. This dip here is a long. I'm adding at 43. Looking for the break over 17. There's 75. I want to see 85, 95, and that quick break through 17. There it goes. Holding 700 shares. High on this stock right now is 17.30. Yikes. Well, it's impressive. Not as impressive as SPI yesterday. And that's what traders are going to be thinking about, SPI yesterday. And traders who missed SPI are going to try to capitalize on this one. High is in the 17s. I'm all out, and I'm going to just delete these lines and clean up the chart. So remember what I said about that ripcord. When you're buying a stock that's up $10 a share, you got to have your hand on the bailout button because you don't want to get caught in a big flush, especially if you take big size. It can be, you can't lose sight of these waves of momentum and that what goes up comes back down. All right, so ascending volume is good. Those that are streaming my pre-market watch list, if you guys haven't hit the thumbs up button, you're throwing your life away, and you should be embarrassed. So it takes 1 second to do it. All right, so we're sitting at 9 a.m. Look at that pop from 1487. This is not done yet. We've got some hot momentum on this. High is 17, over 17. Watching. I'm long here. I'm buying this for the breakback over 17. Watch through 17, adding there. Next target 1750. Not letting this one off the hook. 1750 is my new order. Adding at 1715 right there. Trying to ride the momentum up to 1750, and then from 1750, looking for a squeeze up to 18. Watching dips. And I'm adding right there at 17. I'm buying the dip. Now looking for the squeeze up to 1750. Holding 6,000 shares. There's 1720. Churning a little bit here. And I'm actually red now. Let's see if it pops back up over 17. Big spread opened up. Back out of it, break even. So that was more or less a break even trade. Well, maybe part of the first part was a winner. The ad was not a winner. High is 1750. I'm going to let it pull back. High volume on that green candle. I jumped in late. I jumped in up here, and I was late. But I held that ripcord, and I cut the loss as soon as it started to not look right. SPI, right now, our big move from yesterday, is also curling up. This one I'm hesitant on for two reasons. Number one, it doesn't have fresh news today, as far as I'm aware. And number two, the price is going to make it so the spreads are bigger. So there's going to be a fair amount of risk on this one. I would rather trade NETE because it has fresh news today. This is the headline on NETE. I don't know. I guess I would say on SPI, the pre-market high of 29.50 is a spot to keep half an eye on. So I'll put up the level 2. I'll watch it, but I'm just not totally sure. Let me check SunW. OEG has faded back down. So, you know, guys, these are the days, in my opinion, to dig deep. I got up early. I was sitting here at 7 a.m. I knew that there was going to be opportunity, and I was late. At 7 a.m., I had already missed this move right here between 5 and 6 a.m., and I was like, you know what? I knew I should have gotten up at 5:30 because I missed that move. But I sat down at 7 a.m., traded this little dip here on SUNE or SUNW, and haven't traded SPI yet. I'm not sure. Again, 24.50. You can see how it's getting a little action up here. I'm just nervous about jumping in this one too high. See, all of a sudden it's 24.50 on the ask. Now it's 24.40, 24 on the bid. You're down 50 cents like that. That's a high entry. I wouldn't mind doing a high entry on NETE because since the spreads are tighter, I can manage my risk better. But on this one, I could lose $1 a share like that. What I'll tell you is that it's good to see this continuation moving back up. It's going to bode well for momentum today across the board. So SPI is now kind of getting the focus. NETE is taking a little bit of a breather. NETE has got a red candle on the 5, which is fine. It may end up being green. We'll see. The low here was 1478. So any TE I would watch to do dip trades off of that level. Watching any TE. I'm long any TE there at 1501 for a dip trade. So only 2,000 shares on a dip trade, but from 1501, I'm already up 50 cents on the ask. 1552 on the ask. So that's a nice dip trade. Now maybe I could have taken bigger size, but I used my hotkey, which is shift 2 for 2,000 shares. Nice on SPI. I'm missing some momentum over there, but at least I got something where I felt like I could manage my risk a little bit better. And I'm selling NETE for $1 a share. 16. So 2,000 shares, it's almost 2,000 bucks. So let's switch back to SPI. Remember, capitalize on FOMO, don't fall victim. This has just gone $5 a share. If you think it can't drop right back down $5 a share, you're wrong. It can. You have to manage risk on these. You don't know where there's a big seller out there and all of a sudden people are going to see that 50,000 share seller or whatever the thing is and get spooked and it's going to drop. You don't want to be holding if that happens. NETE, I'm watching. And I'm back in NETE at 1504. I'm going to do the same thing I just did before. I'm going to buy that dip at 15, try to sell it over 16. Watching NETE now over 1575. These are dip trades. Watching here 1575 for the add. Holding tight. I'm just going to look to add on this over 1550, 1575. There's 1547. 37. Looking for the break back over the $0.50. There's 37, 35. Nice bid. 46, 50. Nice. Can we get back into the 60s? So on this one, it seems like I'm only getting 50 cents. I'm just going to take it off the table to probably only 25 cents average. So did that SPI not just go to 30 and then drop all the way back down to 25? $5 a share. Capitalize on FOMO. Don't fall victim to it. You could have traded this on the move up. Now, this was kind of a crazy move, but you could have. And you can also wait for the first 1 minute pullback. Calm, cool, collected. Wait for that next good quality setup. So NETE is going to be on close watch. SPI is going to also be on watch here, as obviously it's moving back up. So our pre-market high on this was 29. We then have a little trigger right here at 31. So over 31, then we don't have any resistance until 33. And then we've got a big window back to 46. Those are our levels. Doesn't mean that it's going to go back to 46, but those are the levels to watch. We do have risk of direct offerings and secondary offerings. Anytime you have a stock that's up 100, 200, 300%, it's a reminder not to buy and try to swing trade and hold these overnight, just to hit and run. Get the profit, get out, get the profit, get out. If SPI did a secondary offering, they could easily do it at $4 or $5. I mean, it's like this has been trading in the $1.50 range for a long time. If you were an institutional investor willing to give them, $5 million in exchange for shares as part of a offering, you're not going to want to buy it at $15. You're going to be like, wait a second, $15, that's 10 times higher than you've been trading in the last 6 months. I'll give you $4 million, but I want $2 a share. So shares at that price. I mean, I'm just speculating, but if that would be my thinking. If they came to me and they said, Ross, will you help, give us an offering so we can, give us some money so we can reinvest in electric vehicles, I would say, yeah, but not at $15, $20 a share. All right, so we're getting a pullback here. The low of this dip was 25. We're in consolidation right now. The high here is 28. I would say at this point, this one over $28 is a long. The first 1 minute candle to make a new high. So I'm watching it long over 28. I'm long here 28 SPI, and I'm looking for a squeeze up to $29, $30. So watch over 28.50. I'm looking for 28.50. And, you know, again, you can see how this one's a little choppy. Looking for that break. And I'm probably, so just like that, it's down $1 a share. That's a $500 loss. Thank goodness for small share size. I'll look to get back in if it breaks over the high, but that did a first 1 minute candle to make a new high over 28, only broke by 39 cents and then dropped. If we get a good setup, you know, you can see how this has the potential to move. That was a $10 a share move, but it's going to have to break over 30 because then it's going to the all-time highs. That's where it's going to really start getting, catching people and getting people excited. So I'll put an order at $29 to get back in. And Black Cat Music, I'm sure you're not the only one who lost yesterday on SPI. I, myself, had a $40,000 loss on it. I was green 50,000 bucks, and I ended up finishing up only $12,000 on the day. You know, I came back and traded it in the afternoon and doubled my profit, and then gave it all, well, gave a lot of it back. I got caught in the halt going down. Long at $44 with 2,000 shares, which I thought was small size. I didn't expect to lose $20 a share, but I was green going. I was carrying shares going into it, so the way it kind of nets out is funny because I went from being up 25 to up 50, and then as it dropped back down, I gave back some of the unrealized profit. So I think that it is though the biggest loss I've ever had. High here, 16.29. Yeah, it shows on my P&L right now is a $37,000 loss. And you know what? Thank goodness I can take a $37,000 loss and still finish the day green. I finished the day green yesterday. You know, not by as much as I wish, but I was green. And you know what? I'm going to make it back today. I've already made it back. High is 16.29 on SPI. We've got 20 minutes to the bell. I'm in SPI here, long, and I'm going to add over 16.50. This is the first 5 minute candle to make a new high. This is a critical setup. Watching the add over 45, adding right there at 47. There's 17, holding full size and looking to add over 17 with a target of 17.50. Watch NETE for the break of 17.50. There, long, adding. Nice, nice, nice. I want to see 17.50. I want to see a little bit more. I'm going to hold right here. I'm not selling yet. The high is 17.20. Watch 17.25. Adding right there, 17.08. I'm going for a bigger trade on this, up through the pre-market highs, 17.50. I want to see 17.50 on this one. Giving it a second, letting it pull back. High is 17.20. New order goes at 17.21. Churning a little bit. Orders at 17.24. Yeah, sorry, I meant NETE. Still holding, letting it pull back. The NETE is on my chart. Sorry, it's hard when you're watching two stocks. So I'm looking for that break. The high, this candle 17.20. Watching dips in this area. I'm taking profit off the table at 17 here. I'm going to look to reposition for the next trade, a 1 minute pullback. Still holding 1,400 shares. Sold the rest. I'll look for the next trade on a pullback. SPI coming back down to the VWAP. So, you know, what goes up comes back down. NETE, the news is in Lightspeed, so it doesn't happen to be populating on eSignal. I don't know, sometimes that's the case. I'm not always sure why. We've got about 14 or 15 minutes to the bell. In case you didn't know, this is a stock with a history of making big moves. It doesn't always hold its levels, but neither did SPI until yesterday. So now those are overlaid on the chart. Make sure those of you guys streaming on YouTube and Facebook have hit the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Really does make a big difference to the channel. You guys hit the thumbs up and YouTube says, hey, all right, let's recommend this to some other people. You share it with some other people, that helps too. So where's the next entry? Five-minute high there is 1720. Low of this pullback was 1581. You want to be a little bit careful about possible bull traps. I've already maxed out my buying power on this stock twice today. I only have about $250,000, $230,000 in buying power in this account. So it does limit me a little bit. I can't take 20,000 shares of this stock. That would be 300 grand. I can switch to my other account, but my other account's not a retirement account. So then I'll pay income tax on the profit, which means I, don't keep as much of it in my pocket. I'm long here, 1640. I'm going to take a dip trade and look for the break back over 17. We've got 75, 80. I'm going to be pretty aggressive on this one. I've got 11,000 shares right now, and I'm going to look to add over, adding there at 17. You know, what I'll tell you is that this one, my hotkeys not working as well as usual. I'm getting a little bit more slippage and partial fills. Order at 1725 for the next trade. Right here, it's doing the same thing it did before. It's back up to this level, and now it's churning. It needs to hold over 17. That's what it's struggling with right now. It's struggling to hold over 17. Still holding 3,000 shares. You can see how choppy it is up here. I'm going to watch for dip trades. Still holding 700 shares. I'm going to try to do a dip trade on this. Maybe, it could pull back a fair amount. I don't know. Maybe red to green is going to be the setup on this one. I'm out of the rest of it for now. I'm going to look for a dip trade. We've got, so here's the thing. It's having a hard time holding above 17, right? Now, if it can break 17 and hold above that level, then that's when I'm going to start to get a little more interested. Still 10 minutes to the bell. We're still trading pre-market, but this has 8 million shares of volume. SPI has 5 million. And Sun W has 24 million. I want to encourage you guys, if you haven't already, do your pre-trading checklist. Did you eat well? Did you sleep well? Do you have a couple stocks on watch that you like? If you do, what's the condition of the overall market? And remember, don't blindly follow me or anyone else. Even I sometimes fall into that habit. I'll see John says he got into something and I'm like, oh, screw it, I'm in. And then I'm like, well, what? Why did I got to make my own decisions. Just because he's in it, you know, I've got to make the trade myself. I have to base it on my risk profile where I think is a good entry. You know, so you really have to trade yourself. Now, it doesn't mean it's not helpful to hear what a professional trader is doing. What someone who's been doing this for almost 10 years is seeing or thinking, you know, I see in the market. That's valuable. But you have to take it with the grain of salt that it's not a recommendation for you to do anything. It's me sharing with you what I'm doing with my own money. And I'm putting my money where my mouth is. So I'm going to put up my disclaimer here on Facebook, YouTube, as a reminder that day trading is not easy. Most day traders lose money. If you want to be one of the few that make money, and of all of you guys out there streaming, and it looks like there's about 7,800 streaming, there's probably going to be a few of you out there that do have the potential to become profitable traders. But do it the right way, by trading in a simulator first, by studying. If you want to learn from me, you're welcome to learn from me. Obviously, I teach classes, but you know, if you want to learn on your own, however you want to do it. I learned on my own. It took me almost 2 years of trial and error. During that time, for 2 years, I was losing money. So that's not the funnest way to learn. And you know, to be honest, there's no guaranteed way of learning, because the way I learned, it took 2 years, and even after all of that, there was still probably a high chance that I would have just had to give up. So your best chance is, you know, put the odds in your favor. Learn from someone who's already got a profitable strategy. Practice in a simulator before you trade with real money. And remember, on days like today, to try to capitalize on FOMO without falling victim to it. Yesterday, I gave into FOMO. I did. I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm getting back in. I'm getting back in SPI. And I went from up 25 to up 30, 34,000. And I said, all right, you know what? I'm up 34,000. I want to walk away today with at least 25,000. All right, so I've got a little bit of a cushion. I kept trading. Then I was up 40, 42, 45, 50. Then I got in the halt going down. And I gave back from 50,000, I dropped down to up only 12,000 on SPI. So a $38,000 loss. It was actually a bigger loss, and then I bounced back a little bit doing a dip trade. But in any case, I overstayed my welcome. You know, FOMO paid off, and then you know, I paid the price for it. I gave in to FOMO, and it got me. I made a little money on Sun W yesterday, 15,000, but then I got caught on that one in a halt going down at 377. It resumed at 250. Lost 12 grand on that. So, you know, it is high stakes. It's easy come, easy go. There's a lot of risk here. All right. So we've got about 7 minutes to the bell. Hang on one second. Let's go put the kettle on for tea. NETE, 8.9 million shares of volume. News catalyst is right here. It's a very similar catalyst to SPI yesterday. Doesn't mean it's going to do as much as SPI did, but it has already given us, well, it's up 134% from 750 up to 1750. So that's $10 a share. It may fade at the open. We may have a sell-off. I'm not in it right now. I'm watching it. But what's the volume weighted average price? 1460. So I'm going to take a long of 1,700 shares at 1474. That's a bounce off the volume weighted average price. So I'm taking smaller size. It was a partial fill, and I'd look for a break back over 15. See how that's a dip almost perfectly to the volume weighted average price? So now it's very easy to set a stop at the VWAP, right? As long as it holds above this level, I'm good. And if it breaks, I can cut the loss, no big deal. If it holds, then I can start adding for a bigger move. So we want to see it back over 15, up to 1525, 1550. So there's 1525. That's 50 cents from 74. Could you have taken that with 10,000 shares? Maybe. It might have been hard to get filled. My order was, I got partial fills, which is why I only had 1,700 shares. I took some profit at 1530. Still holding 480 shares. So this 5-minute candle, when it closes is when the bell is going to ring. That's when the market's going to open, right? So we could, at the open, we could see a flush, or we could see a rip. First 5-minute candle to make a new high. So intraday level here, 1538 would be the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. Zach, I do. And for a stock like this and stocks like SPI with bigger spreads, you often need to, just because it just is something you'll find is important. We talk about that in the Warrior Pro classes. So let's see. I'm going to watch here for another dip off the volume weighted average price. Oh man, look at that. So that just popped right there without me. I'm still holding small size, but that just popped without me. Look at that pop. From 1480 to 1560. So this one's jumpy. How many thumbs up do we have? Those of you guys on YouTube and Facebook. So I'm going to move the gap scanner out of the way. We're not going to need that anymore. We know NETE is our second leading gapper. I'll close the news on it. High of the current candle is 70. High the last one was 70. So we've got a double top at 1570. I'll put an order at long here 55. I'm going to try to take a quick trade up back over 16. Watch the break of 1590. Because now what we're getting is it's already starting to open up right before the bell. It doesn't want to wait. Watching the break over 1590 to try to get that squeeze through 16. So there's 86. I want to see 87, 88. There's 84, 80 on the bid. 85. Would have kind of thought would have broken there. I'm just going to step out of it, and we've got about 10 seconds to the bell. All right, there's the bell. Orders at 16. There's a sell-off. Starter at 14.50. Taking a starter at 14.50. Selling half at 15.20. It's a dip out of the open. Next trade's over 15.40. Long there, 15.30. Now looking for 16. Still holding 2,000 shares. Cutting the loss, but I'll look for the next dip. Watch off of 13. This, should I buy this halt? If it false halts, I'm going to put an order at 70. If it does a false halt, I'm going to buy. Orders ready. Hands on the buy button at 85. No, so it's a real halt. Okay. All right, so we'll do a halt resumption. SPI also halted going down. Again, it's the first few minutes. I'm holding 1,600 shares in the halt, but I'm honestly not worried about that. I'm going to look to do a dip on the resumption. Let's see. I think that even if we get a period of consolidation here and a pullback, the next setup is the break of the volume weight average price. So had one nice trade from 1440 to 1520, added back at 1545, took some profit at 1570, sold more at 1508, and holding the rest at 1535 into this halt going down. 1,600 shares. So I do think that this is going to be a day to be aggressive, but I think it's also important to take a breath, wait for those opportunities to present themselves. Sun W, flush. I'm not going to buy this one into the halt, but I'll do halt resumption. So I'll put an order at 4 in case it false halts. So watching Sun W in case it does a false halt. I started doing these false halts during the 35% market drop in February, March. Because what I noticed is that when I would buy those dips, we were getting incredible reversals. A lot of these trade in tandem. So SPI, Sun W, NETE, these are all having this pre-market pull or this pullback now that the bell has rung. It could be traders who had orders to take profit, those orders execute, whatever it is, it's not uncommon. That's the dip. Now, these dips, which we saw during pre-market, didn't result in halts because there's no halts on circuit breakers pre-market. So these are now giving halts, but again, what goes up comes down, and what goes down can come back up. POLA, yep, I see that one as well. So that one's actually got support down here, but I'm not going to jump into it long. I'm gonna wait for, well, maybe I'll watch it over 50. I'll take a quick long at 50, but only 2,000 shares, just small size. I'll sell it at 57 there. That's fine. So that's just a quick dip off the low. Right there, $0.50 breakout. I think if we, think back on the market from yesterday, the bulk of the moves that we saw yesterday was a little later in the morning. Now, those of you guys who are streaming, how many thumbs up do we have? Because I wasn't going to do a live stream today, so someone let me know where we're at. I just happened to be sitting down right at the open with my tea here, and trading was number one. OEG, let me look. So I encourage you guys to keep an eye on the momentum scanners, to watch the reversals, watch the break through the volume weighted average price, watch those red to green moves. Warrior Pro students, I encourage you guys to bring questions to the Warrior Pro Mentor sessions. If you're curious about some of these, to go through and watch live trading archives to see how I set my hotkeys, exactly sort of where I'm pressing that buy button, where I'm pressing that sell button. I want you guys to kind of put all the pieces together. And those of you guys trading in the simulator, keep practicing. We have a newer release of the simulator, which I think I have. Oh, no, it's not that. This is a manager. I'm going to close that. POLA, son of a gun. Well, look at me. I sold too soon. Now it's going to go into a halt going up. So what did we say? Stocks that go down, go back up. Stocks that go up, come back down. Golly. Left some money on the table on that one. All right, so we're going into a halt going up. Let's watch NETE. I'm long NETE. I'm buying this dip right here, and I'm looking for NETE to pop back up over 14. Watch the break of 14. Right now, I don't mind letting it shake out a second. I still think this one's got red to green potential. Watch over 1350. 1350 is the spot to watch. Adding there at 37. Now looking for the squeeze over 14. There's 90. I want to see 14. There's 14. There we go. There's that pop. So from a halt going down long at 15, now my cost basis is 1390. Looking for the break back over 14. Unwinding the position. All out. Gave back about $1,100 total, but that's not too bad, all things considered. This dropped from, my average was $15.35 to $13.35. That's a $3,000 loss. So buying the dip and then selling as it popped back up, that was the way to do it. All right, so NETE, what it did there was it came up and it tapped the volume weighted average price and is now coming a little bit lower. I'm going to put an order around 12 for the next bounce. SPI still halted. POLA will watch. Sun W. Let's watch Sun W next. So Sun W was halted, and I'm going to put an order on this at 401. Resumption is going to be in about 10 seconds. All right. Watching. Long right there for the break back over 4. Nice. Now over 420 is an add. Watch 420. We want to see that staying power. Adding at 415 right there for the squeeze through 425. Sun W looking nice here. There's 17. I want to see 18, 19. 15, 16, 17. Why is it churning here? Taking profit off the table at 11. But not bad. That was a decent trade. $2,000 profit. NETE, long at 82. Buying the dip right down here for the pop back up over 12. False halt going down. That's a spot for me to jump in and go long. Now watching NETE back over 1250. Irrational sell-offs are what I like to buy. Watching NETE, will it get over 13? Stop break even on the rest of NETE. I've got $1 a share. Nice on SUNW. Didn't get it perfectly, but, green nonetheless. NETE. Sun W coming back up. POLA. POLA resumption is going to be in about a minute. Sun W 506. My gosh. SPI. Yep, we'll be watching SPI. Stopped out of the rest of NETE for right now. New orders at 80. We'll see if it does a false halt. Looks like I could have jumped in there. So both on POLA and SunW, I left money on the table. But you know what's coming up next is SPI. All right, so SPI is a bounce off the volume weighted average price. SunW looks like it's going into a halt at 5:30. I'll watch that on resumption. Okay, so SPI. This one I have to trade with slightly smaller share size. But I'm going to look for a squeeze on this one. I'm going to put my order at 25. Okay, watching here on SPI. Resumption should be in about 3 seconds. Long SPI, 23.90. Looking for the rip up over 24, 25. This is the same setup as SunW and Pola. Watch over 24.50 for the ad. Nice on Pola. 24.50 is the spot I'm watching on SPI. I'm looking to add. Adding right there at 60. Nice on SPI. Sold the rest of SPI, only $400 profit. Pola, I'm going to watch over 5. Long Pola for the breakthrough 5. Back of mind target on Pola would be a squeeze up to 525. Taking profit on Pola at 506 for right now. New order goes at 525. SPI didn't get the bounce. Didn't get the continuation I was thinking it would. But look at SunW and Pola. These are the two to watch. My goodness, what a market. All right, high is just around $6. New orders at 6 on Pola. Buying the dip at 62. I'm long Pola at 62. Looking to ride this into a halt at 597. Watch over 590 on Pola for the ad. There's 82. Looking for the ad over 90 and then into 6. Watching here. Adding 87 right there. Into the halt. Taking profit. Nice on Pola. Next trade is going to be over 610. My goodness. This is unbelievable. This market. All right, SunW. What's the resumption on this one? A couple minutes away. Pola, what's the high? The high right now is 28. Going into maybe another halt. The only one that's not working is SPI. Funny enough, that's the one that started all this momentum, and NETE. Pola, wow. Wow. I'm leaving so much money on the table. I am honestly embarrassed. All right, well, I don't want to chase it. The high is 56. What's the next pullback? I'll put an order at 50. There's 56. Watch over 55 on Pola. Let it pull back for a second. Maybe a bounce off of 6. Watching Pola. Long Pola at 99. Bought the dip right at 99. 10,000 shares long. It's a tricky trade. There's a seller there at 90. I'm gonna, I'm gonna have to cut that loss. So Pola just lost, I don't know, 4,000 on it. Yeah, probably 4,000, 3,000. Still green on the stock, but gave back some profit. Volume weight average price is a ways down. Again, buckle up. This is a crazy market. Whew, my goodness. SunW resumption is about a minute away. UONE, I'm not interested in that. That one's not solar, it's not energy, it's not green energy. We're trading the high volume stocks. I don't want to trade the low volume stuff. That's junky. High volume is better right now. High this 1 minute candle on POLA is 57. First 1 minute candle to make a new high could be a setup. Look at that dip. Look at that bounce. Boy. High is 72. 72 would be the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. Long Pola 61 for the break of 72. Trying to catch the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. Taking my profit at 79. I think it's the right thing to do. New order will be at 6 if it can get over that level. Made back a little bit there. Sun, SUNW, watch over 60. Long Sun right there. Taking my profit at 70. New order on Sun, 70. Long Sun, 70. Now looking for 80. Watching Sun over 6. Long at 6. Looking to take profit 620. Taking profit over the break. Let's watch it. Watching for the dip now on Sun. New order at 650. Still holding Sun. Looking to add over 650. Next halt level is 7. Watching to add on this dip. Watching. Long at 48. Buying the dip on Sun. I want to catch that pop back up into the 70s. I think this sell-off is a little overdone. I want to catch the pop on it. Adding at 88, buying that dip right there for the pop back up over 5. Brings my cost basis down a bit, and I'm taking out at 514. A loss, but not a huge loss, because I added at 88. All right, what do we have? What's going on here? So we've got Sun W. Choppy as can be, POLA. POLA is not ready yet. Look at this range. SPI, halted going down. NETE, halted going down. So maybe it's 9:47 and it's time to take a breath. POLA would have to break back over 6. That audio alert or stocks hitting my scanners. POLA, the high of this candle was 75, so you can see it's doing an ascending support line here. POLA is a possibility. NETE, I'm going to wait for a better setup. Long Pola, I'm going to put an order at $6 to add. This one's starting to curl back up over 94. 594 is the breakout. Watch 590. Adding there, 95. Now looking for the rip through 6. I want to see a little bit more. Over 610 is my next add spot. Watching to add over 610. Hands on the buy button on Pola. Watching right through here for the add. I'm going to hold through this pullback. Adding at 90. Buying that dip right there at 590. Looking for a retest of 6, 605, 620. What I'm thinking on this one is that we're going to get a break through 6 and then up to 625. Watch 595. There's 80, 87, 90, 95, 6, 605, 608. That's the spot. This is a 1 minute pullback. $6 is the spot. Hands on the buy button. I'll probably add at 97, 98. 597, 598. Watching. Watching. Orders at 602. I'm just going to let it consolidate here for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high with the order at 602. Because I think this is going to break 6. 610, and then a retest higher. Watching the ad on dips or over 97. POLA, 28 million shares of volume, up 200%. Watching. Adding there 93. There's 95. And there's 98. I want to get the break of 6. Should be breaking here a little bit better than this. Holding.
The future happens when we explore new frontiers. Gemini is the future of finance.
Hello everyone, this is Teddy Keckset from Forex Trading Unlocked, and we are here with a Forex Trading for Beginners webinar for you. Before we get into it, we just want to remind you that this webinar is for illustrative and educational purposes only. Also, if you have not done so, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Forex Trading Unlocked, and our Twitch channel also, Forex Trading Unlocked, and